pre-market a lot of the times, but it was just looking pretty good. So I'll explain it in a moment, but what I want to see though is basically this morning I'm watching the this area here between 926 and 950. We're really struggling to get past this area. All pre-market essentially. We're not really getting fall through to the downside yet, which is why also pre-market, you know, I'm just going to go 2 micros. But if we do kind of build some distance between where price is now and or where price is at the open once we actually open up and where my entries at, or where I'll move it to break even if we continue down, then there may be an opportunity for me to try and add into the position and stay break even. And then the target, if I'm target, it's all the way down here. But we'll see what happens. Sometimes these pre-market moves, these pre-market trades work out. Sometimes they just come back up, hit me out of break even. But it's like a, I mean, we're using 2 micros. We're going for like a 10R right now. But if we get the opportunity to add, I am for sure going to add. How are you guys doing this morning? CTR. Wow. The man, the myth, the legend. Where has he been? The good news is that at least we at least we didn't just go straight upwards during the overnight session. That would have sucked. Doesn't mean we can't just continue, right? Because the idea for me is if we do accept above here, we're probably headed to 30. We have 30,000 sitting above us. So we got a psychological level sitting above us, and then we can just continue this grind up and then target the call wall. So it's kind of like the decision area for me this morning. But hopefully we build a little bit of distance in between where I entered and where price opens up at the open. And then if we see an opportunity, like let's say at the open, right, we see us essentially just open up, push up, fail, I'll probably add into this. This is a funded account. This is 6 funded accounts. But we went 2 micros. So we were only risking like 43 bucks. And the full target is like way down here. Around that 800 level. That 800 level held up pretty well during the overnight. But we'll see what this the 5-minute does before the 5-minute candle before the open. And then we'll probably end up just moving this to break even. The good news is though is that we're really not risking anything. It's like we're risking 40 bucks, you know. And then we're going to see if we can have an opportunity to add into it and stay at break even. But we've just been kind of chopping here, so how do you spot imbalances like 950? What do you mean imbalances? Are you talking about this? Oh. This level comes from this current leg during London. If we are going lower, then we have premium sitting up here. If we start getting above it and accepting past it, then we're continuing this value up structure that we've had for like the past 2 days. And also sitting right here is the second largest positive GEX node. So treat it kind of like a zone. So in the event, right, where we get above this, we have acceptance above, because it'd also be acceptance above the extended trading hours, which is sitting right around the value area high of the ETH, which is sitting right around 29,920, 29,916. Then we can potentially see us grind up, and then we'd be looking for us to come up here. So there's that 5-minute candle before the open. But hopefully we have you know, some type of opportunity today. Maybe because honestly, because the risk was so small, I probably should have sized heavier, but I don't really like trading pre-market a lot of the times because I'm just worried about the opening print. Good afternoon, Ricky. Also, I now have a code for deep charts, so if anyone wants to ever get deep charts, you could use code Thrax for, I don't know how much the discount is, but some type of discount. 10%? Alright, well there you go. If you want to save yourself some money, code Thrax. Ooh. All right, we'll get stopped out and lose our 40 bucks, and then we're gonna wait for the open. We're still watching. It's we're gonna open up basically at the area that I'm paying attention to. This level essentially here. Dude, if we just get another pump today, it'd be kind of crazy. It would literally be a repeat of that 2-week period of time in April. But here's the level. If we stay above it, if we accept above it, we'll take it. And we got room to the upside. It might be a slower grind though to the upside, but we could essentially basically like pump, balance, pump, balance, pump, and just like value up. Although, I'm gonna be real though, if we literally just open up and just straight pump, like no pullback, nothing, and we just come straight up here without any opportunity, then unfortunately, like, again, I'm not gonna be able to trade today. So let's see if we can actually stay above this area. Trump says buy stocks on Wednesdays. I don't know about that. We didn't even hit 30,000 there. It's just right there. I'm actually going to test out a long right here because we just pushed down back into this level and we're holding above it. The stop is basically right below the wick on this 5-minute. We're looking for us to tap into the psychological level at 30,000, and then I'm watching the pressure here after it potentially takes the orders. Unless we're just going to slam back down, then, you know. The full target, though, is going to be for kind of way up there. Ooh. Alright, we got stopped out of that. So now we're down 400 on these accounts. That's so lame, dude. Whatever. Alright, so we just hit 30,000. We'll see if we actually continue past it. What up, Data Los? Your stop didn't deserve it. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but I mean the idea was there, right? Like, so this is part of the reason why whenever I say we're opening like right at a level I'm looking at, I'm always like a little, because we kind of whiplash sometimes at the open. But this is the most important level for me this morning. So like when we opened up, we pushed up, we saw us attempt to come back lower into like sellers trying to reclaim back into this level here. And once we started to fail and we were pushing back up, I wanted to give it a shot, but it just like dipped down one more time before taking 30,000, and then we're going to see if it's actually going to continue. If it does continue and it just rips its way up here towards the target here, we'll just have to take our L. Damn. Damn. Dude, I hope we come down though. Build some more structure to the downside. But we'll see what happens. I will say though, because I'm down 400 on these fundeds right now, if there's another opportunity, I'll try and take it, but I have to take it with smaller size. And if that one loses, I just gotta shut it down. But we can try and make, we can, if there's an opportunity, we're gonna try and take it. Although this is looking pretty nasty right now. So we got this area here we're watching this morning. We pushed above it, we held above it once, we're holding above it a second time. As of right now, we just saw all that pressure step in here. How big is this candle? 100 points. Jeez. Dude, I think my data's delayed. You guys see that? It was delayed for a second. Dude. What an interesting open. We do have news though in what is it? We got PMI today. PMI. Alright, we have in 4 minutes and in 20 or 19 minutes. But as long as we stay above here, I think we're still going to have a grind up towards this area. It's just whether or not well, we have to see if PMI causes anything. I don't really think it'll do a lot, but it might. I don't really think it will, though. I don't really think it will. Yo, Hassan, there's no reason for you to apologize, bro. That has nothing to do with you. we're back at this area. Before we broke to the downside, we were struggling here pretty hard. Would have been nice if we just had some clean delivery. Came back, retested, went up, and just had follow through. Bro. You said, hey man, quick question. So right now I now know how to spot the start of a trend and get a position ASAP. What does that mean? Get a position ASAP. But your problem now is how to look for and enter when price is already in rocket ship mode to ride it. You mean you're asking me how you can chase price? I mean, I don't think that's a good plan. It might work, you know, in conditions like this, right? Or like what we had yesterday or the day before. If your strategy is, if you're Mr. Chase It, right, then, you know, you probably did pretty well. Mr. Chase It. But like, okay, you know, if that is kind of how you trade, there are people who do that, by the way, you know, and are successful in how they do it. But if you're newer to trading, you know, you got to be careful doing that. He's describing jump in FOMO. You're asking how to use order flow. Well, it's kind of a loaded question there. There's a lot to talk about with that. So I'm going to leave you with this. I got some videos on my YouTube. Spent a lot of time on them. Take some time. Watch them. I can't, you know, I'm you know, it's market open. I can't necessarily give you a whole master class on like order flow and stuff. You know what I mean? I'm watching right now. I'm watching this idea that I had play out without me. We're getting April vibes here. Look at this. Okay. So remember this, right? Remember this. Isn't it looking eerily similar? Pump, balance, pump, balance, pump. Pump, balance, pump. Oof. Are we having a repeat? Next thing you know, we're at 34,000. I hope not, dude, because for the way that I trade, those conditions are pretty tough for me to trade, where we just like pump every single time. I mean, it's not super difficult to trade because, you know, like if that was going to happen today, or if it's happening today, we had an opportunity to try and get in. We just like got hit out of it. Uh, 30,130. 13 was taken. 30,130. What up, Kill? You already entered longs? Yeah, I tried to. I tried to around here. It came out, came down, then this candle came down. Ooh, see that? See, it like lags. Like, I don't know if this is an ATAS X thing. Probably is. That's pretty gross, though. Yeah, it's lagging because, well, it has to load all this data, right? Although it should be it should be like, I don't know. It only recently started doing this, I've noticed. Because I have these charts up. I have a bunch of different charts up. 3 different platforms. All different data feeds. So I can see when they're not, you know, showing the exact same thing. It's a bit odd. It only recently started happening. I do not know why. It's gotta... It's gotta be an ATAS X thing, I think. Probably some update they did. Because, just so you guys know, you guys see when these big orders are getting, what they changed, which they didn't used to do, is when we see these getting created, right? You see it like loading up this like animation of the number increasing, and you know, which is totally unnecessary, by the way. The number increasing, and then the bid lighting up, and it just does this like little bubble to big bubble animation. Like, get that out of here, dude, because I feel like that's the problem. This only started happening when that started. Yeah, they need to remove that. What used to happen was trade hits the tape, boom, pops up. All right, cool. That's all I want to see. I don't care for an animation. You know what I mean? Like, who cares? Whatever dev did that, his mindset was a dev mindset, trying to be like cool. Oh, it'd be so cool if, you know, we can animate. Bro, we don't care about that. We care about speed. You know? What up, pause? What's interesting though is that we did just come back up into this area right here. And we had this out of it. This is kind of nasty though. What's my game plan? Well, the game plan was if we accept above this area, we were looking for us to go long, potentially have like a grind higher up into here. Price opened up, Push down, pushed up, pushed down. We tried to get in longs once it went up, and then it came back down, hit me out, and then we're just watching it right now. It honestly might just, if it keeps doing like this type of behavior, I might have to just call it a day. It'll be kind of a slower week, honestly, because of what's happening, but that's fine. Look, it's doing it again. You see what I'm talking about? And then it lags. Who cares about this? Like, why? Why? Dude, that's nasty. LED lighting. What's interesting about that though? What's interesting about what's happening here? I mean, these are large, right? These are pretty large for MNQ. We've been on like a super, super mega pump, right, for the past couple days. Rather than it being like true initiative pressure to the downside, I wonder if some huge player is just unloading a massive position up here into the buying pressure. And they're doing it in like increments. Because each time this happened, it just like went right back up. You know what I mean? Went right back up. Went right back up, came down, went right back up. Yeah, I understand absorption, but never mind. Never mind. Stratton Oakmont, you know what I'm talking about, dude. You know what I'm talking about. You guys should know what I'm talking about. It's the reasoning behind it. The AI hedge fund who blew 24 billion, yeah. Leopold. The guy who got fired from OpenAI. and then got diddied by Citadel. Yeah. I'm interested to see if this is gonna happen again as we push up again. Which would be interesting to see, because if that happens like again and the same thing happens, that might be a huge position. Massive. But as long as we're above here, I'm not shorting this. I can't. Is that ninja? Shorts from there on, from where? Yeah. Yes. Look. 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 Well, actually, that's the hourly candle. Okay, so this is a little different. Dude, that's pretty crazy to watch, though. You know what I mean? Because, like, maybe, like, someone who doesn't really... You know, someone can just be looking at this and being like, oh my gosh, it's so wiki. Like, why is it so wiki? This is pretty nasty, though. No, we opened up and immediately just dumped it. It's happening in increments of 1,000. So I guess this open is a profit-taking session, huh? So we're getting back below this area. We're trying to. It's starting to look more like actual initiative pressure rather than just what was happening here. What I'm looking at right now is I'm gonna see if we can actually get back below here successfully. The only thing is though is that this is current call wall. Hourly open, immediate push down, no wick. Try to push lower. Failed to push lower. This is kind of nasty price action, honestly. How come you weren't looking for longs again at this call wall? Because of what's happening right here. What we were talking about earlier. Because if what I think is happening right now, then it could be a good opportunity to try and write it down. If it actually accepts below here. What's up, Chris? Can you say what are the best settings for heat map on ATAS? I use their old heat map. I'm really watching these levels, like these DOM levels. And I can see the bubbles right here. That's why it's like slightly open. Yeah, I don't really change much. Dude, how are you guys doing in this? Have you guys been trading this? Is anyone just catching bangers on this back and forth? Oh, nice long Rifu. Dude, if I was a prop firm, I'd be looking at this right now going like this. uh Well, one thing is for sure this morning, this is definitely the most important area of the entire AM session, so. What's the big red box? It's the area I was watching this morning where if we accept above it, then I was expecting us to push up over here. If we failed to actually push above it, then I was looking for us to make our way down. Basically like my line in the sand for the morning. And then we were having our like grind up towards here, but then we started seeing this happen, which is making me think that we may end up consolidating here for a little bit, unless we start seeing us do something like this, which I would love to try and take an opportunity to the downside, but we would have to push with like actual initiative, not unloading. Push down here. Buyers try and reclaim. They try and reclaim it. They fail to reclaim it, re-engagement, and then I'd be looking for shorts. But if that's not going to happen, then whoops. Then we could just, you know, boom, 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 boom. Or maybe boom, 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 boom. Whatever. You know, like, we try to take longs. We're already down on the day, so, this is a pretty good, pretty good price action to make that $435 loss a lot worse. So, I'm kind of just waiting. Yes, Luis and Axis. This is basically call wall that's oscillating in between here and here. Just changing. It's like changing from here to here as the positioning is changing. And it's also extended trading hour value area high. So the idea was basically if we stay above here, then we're continuing the value up structure we're seeing all week. We're right here at this psychological level of 30,000. Yes, we are currently in a Nicholas. You're asking a lot. You said, what's your experience on crazy order flow moves like that? What is your definition of a crazy order flow move? And then you're asking for a few seconds and the directional behavior after. I don't know. We have to wait and see, you know? You're asking if there's a pattern. Well, you should understand that, you know, things happen on the tape, right? And they happen for different reasons. So sometimes large execution that you see on the tape can be for different reasons, right? So like it depends. Oh, the dumps where we saw yeah, those ones where the book where price freezes, the book clears out, and next thing you know, we blink and we're down like 100 points. A lot of that, just so you know, is like algorithmic trading. You have an opinion on it, just wondering if you ignore it. I don't ignore it, but I don't use it. I don't use that as like a crystal ball. Like, I guess the way I think about it is different than the way you think about it, because I'm watching essentially what's happening, and then I'm watching what the reaction is after that. I'm not trying to predict something happening and predicting the reaction following it. I want to see what it is. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah. But again, there's different reasons for it. But that gets into a whole conversation. Hey, yo. Whoa. So we're kind of just bouncing out here. Just chopping. Kind of a tough day for me for how I trade yesterday and today. Although we had an opportunity, honestly, to try and make some money. It just didn't work out. 10-point TP, 50-point stop loss. Hell yeah. What is that, a 0.2R? 0.25, 0.2, 0.25R? What is that? Stop profit, take loss. 0.2R, yeah. So I'm gonna sit here for a second, see if we end up getting out of here, but if we don't, I'm just gonna take this L on this on these funded accounts. Let me see how many I copy traded. 1, 2, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4. Copy trade 5 of them. So we'll be down 2,200 on the fundeds. I just feel like, you know, well, first of all, I can't really trade this, but maybe we get a good move out of here. Who knows? 2,000 point stop, 1 point TP. Hell yeah. Dude, imagine you did that though and it didn't work out that one time. you would need to make 2,000. You would need to win 2,000 times to bring it back to break even. Yes, stop loss is not necessary. When you put a stop loss, you're just anticipating you're gonna lose anyways. It's the mindset of a loser, putting a stop loss. Nice. There's nothing wrong with a negative R. People do very well on prop firms with negative R. Rehab is for quitters. Oh. It's true though. No, I'm just joking. What a week. What a way to start off August with this price action. Yo, thanks, Mike. We're coming up to the point where I gotta ask them. Speaking of that, shout out Funded Futures Network for sponsoring our community. 50% off, buy one get one free. You can get two 50K accounts, no activation fee. End of day drawdown for $114, two of them, with code Thrax. And then we get accounts from them to give away to the community for free because they're so awesome. They're so generous. Although I'm running out of accounts, so I'm gonna have to go back to them and be like, please, more accounts. But yeah, it's really cool of them to do that. They've also been around for a very long time. For prop firm, relative to prop firm. So Mike, you contact their support. You take your receipt that you got in your email and you forward it to support at Funded Futures Network, I think is what it is. You could double check. And then you just say, here's my receipt for the BOGO. And then they'll just give you the account within like, within like 30 minutes usually. All right, let's see if we're going to hold below this. Get out of the chop. Or not. And that right there is why you wait. You lost 800 in this chop. Sucks. Those 1K big trades candles. That sucks. Yeah, Mr. Nice Guy, I'm looking at that right now. I was considering it for a second, but I can't do it up here. If I was going to do that, it should have happened down here. What's the absorption indicator? I have this on a delta profile where I'm watching things like this, and it prints a diamond when there are, well, delta levels or delta that's like way out of range. Hold on. You think price is rage baiting at this point? Well, just don't get rage baited. Just don't allow yourself to get rage baited. It looks like fair value gap. No, I don't. I've never used that before. When you say it looks like fair value gap, you mean it just looks like a box? Yeah, I've never used it before. Although, you know what'll be interesting though is ATAS is supposed to be releasing like their own version of, just like how Deep Charts did, their own version of like their options flow stuff, like Gex and things like that. So, you know what? Before they keep adding stuff, how about you fix the problems? How about that, ATAS? Because you've got some problems. First of all, remove that stupid animation, please. Just trying to add a bunch of stuff to their platform. Well, I get it. I guess it's kind of like a race. Who's got the coolest features? Who's got the most features? Your ATAS doesn't have that animation. Yeah, I don't know why. Maybe it's a setting. I hope it's a setting. If I can turn that off, I'm gonna be stoked. Nope. Nope. Oh, Exity. Exity in the chat. That guy's a famous streamer. Yo, bro, why are you yelling at me with all caps? Can you please explain your stop loss? What stop loss? Where? I'm not even in a trade. Although I'm getting ready to try and get in a trade if we actually start getting below here. Although if we fail to break this again, and we slam back up into the range, we're doing a giveaway, and I'm just going to get off. Dude, if this thing just goes and runs what my target's supposed to be... yeah, we're gonna have to get off after that. Without allowing me to get into it. It's looking pretty good, though. It's looking pretty good. First target down here, second target down here. If we can hold down here. Just so everyone knows, the reason for this trade is purely because of this inverse fair value gap. I just have all this stuff on my chart and say order flow in big words to look cool, but really at the end of the day, just trading IFVGs. I'm gonna enter into I'm gonna enter in 3 micros. Pretty big stop, 50-point stop. If we lose this, we'll be down like 700. It'll be kind of gross, but whatever. Oh, what the hell is this? Oh, do we long right in that? Or do we short it right inside of that? No, we bottom ticked it. Should have waited for that 5 minutes to close. That was a mistake. Green bubbles equal buy. Yeah. Got a little bit of FOMO there. Not gonna lie. We should have waited for the 5 minute to close. I was just worried about it running without me. Stupid. But we'll just shut it down. Alright, so let's do a giveaway. Because we took 2 losses today. Both of them for like 50 points. We're gonna give away a GOAT funded futures account. So oh yeah, just so you guys know, so this is copy traded across 5 accounts. We're down 3,700. Alright, so for the YouTube chat, L session, sorry, it is what it is. The first trade we took, just as a recap before I shut down the YouTube. The first trade we took, I'm actually okay with that loss. Because it was kind of following what I was looking to do. What I should have done on this trade was I did enter prematurely before this 5 minute closed. It might actually, and I should have waited for us to push up here, right? And then have failure and then be looking for shorts at this point. But, yeah, because of that mistake, I mean, also, we're also at basically daily loss limit, so I gotta shut it down anyways. But yeah, not a good trade here. We bottom ticked it like a genius. But I'll be back tomorrow, YouTube chat. If you guys still like me after losing 2 trades. Alright, I'll catch YouTube chat later.